Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have a new setup. I'm using a tripod to hold my mobile phone, so I hope that it is not as shaky as my other videos before, and you find this quality a lot better to watch, a lot easier to watch. Okay, so today I'm coming at you with a review of my new to me Speedy 30 in the Bandoulier version, and I'm going to go through some of the tips on how I actually refurbish this bag, as well as some ideas about how to authenticate the bag, especially important if you are buying a pre-loved bag. So let's go straight into the review. Before I actually got this bag, I was lusting over the bag. I'm not sure how you behave when you are lusting over a bag. For me, I stock the bag every single day. I kept looking at the eBay or the carousel kind of like websites to see whether anyone is actually selling their bags, and also whether I should be buying from the boutique, because my brother is a air steward or flight attendant, so I can actually get him to go Paris or London and get it at less than Singapore pricing. But after much pondering and after much thinking, I figured that if I want to get a monogram, I should get it pre-loved, because if I'm gonna buy it from the boutique, after a while, because of the patina or of the leather, people will start to discount the bag a lot, more than the same bag in the Damir Ibn version, because Damir Ibn is has treated leather, whereas the monogram version has the untreated Vachetta leather, which actually patinas over time, and water stain will get into it, or whatnot, and the depreciation of the monogram is so much faster and more than a Damir Ibn. So if you're considering whether you should be getting a monogram or you should be getting a Damir Ibn, I would actually suggest that if that is your first Louis Vuitton, I would recommend that you go for a Damir Ibn. When I was much younger, I don't really like the monogram because I think that it looks pretty old. But as I get older, I'm now about 40 years old. I am starting to like it very much. I hope this doesn't put you off, because I noticed that a lot of fashionable YouTubers, vloggers, they actually really like the monogram version. So once I've gotten this bag, I was actually quite disappointed by it, to be honest, because if I compare it with my other classic Speedy 30, this bag is a lot heavier than the classic one. How I was actually using my classic one, because I couldn't use it as a handheld bag. So how I was using my Damir Ibn classic Speedy 30 is by just hooking a strap on the inside of the handle, and I carry it over my shoulder. So, and at that time, I thought that was really a cheap way of upgrading to a bandolier. So that's why I was lasting for a bandolier version. But because the bandolier version has this leather at the side, which adds weight to the bag. Well, some of you might not think that it is a lot much heavier, a lot more heavier than the classic Speedy 30, but to me it does make a difference. I have no idea why. And the other reason why I was disappointed a little by this bag is because when I hold the bag like this over my shoulder, the bag tends to cave in this manner, which doesn't add much aesthetic. I mean, aesthetically, it doesn't look quite pleasing. So I was just pretty bothered by it, and I constantly have to actually adjust it to make it look better. And if I am actually holding my bag, especially with the zip open, it is actually even more pronounced. So I try to actually zip it up and hold it over my shoulder. The other thing about this bag is that, well, it's no fault of Louis Vuitton, because the seller who sold me this bag lost the key to the lock, and she put it on this side of the lock. So I was hoping that I can actually maneuver the bag around, the zip around with two zips, but now because of this lock, I find it that it's quite irritating and it's pretty heavy, and it makes zipping with this side of the lock even more cumbersome because of that lock. So what I do is I actually pull it thoroughly to one side because I couldn't get the lock out. If I want to, I can go to the locksmith and open it, but I'm still thinking about that. So I am actually opening and closing the bag with just one zip. So on the wear and tear of the bag, when I first got it from the seller had it for, I think, about, if I look at the date code here, this is one of the way that you can authenticate the bag. The date code is 41SP 4122. I believe SP means that it was actually made in France, and 1122 is 4122, it means it was made in April, February, or either, sorry, April the 2nd, or it can be 4th the February. I can't remember which is the sequence of 2012. So this year is 2016, so she bought it in 2012, so practically she has been using this for 4 years. So when I first got it, this was quite beaten. The handles were really dark and very worn, and the watermark here was very pronounced. It is actually, I've already cleaned it up, so you can't really tell very much from here, and some parts of the leather has also gone darker than the other. So but I wasn't that concerned, and in fact I was rather happy that she thinks her bag is old, because before I bought her bag, I actually read about how to refurbish the patina, or no, the Vachetta leather. So I was quite confident that I was able to get it off, even though I had never done it before. But luckily it worked. I will show you how to remove the stains in a while. Maybe I'll show it to you now. Okay, I actually use this thing called the melanin sponge, or I think in the US you might get it as magic eraser, if I'm not wrong. And I got this really cheap. I paid for this at 80 cents Sing, so which is like 50 cents USD, and for such a big piece. So what I did was I cut it into smaller pieces like this, or even smaller. This is just the leftover that I can use to show to you. Cut it in smaller pieces so that you can actually use it to just rub against the inner side of the leather. Just keep rubbing it. So I suggest you just rub in circle. Okay, just go and just rub. Don't worry if you see scratches on the Vachetta leather, because this is just the first step. Just go on and just erase everything off the Vachetta leather, and you are done with the first step. The second step is you can use any leather care product. I use this Vuitton leather care cleaning and nourishing cream, and I use this cloth to apply the cream onto the Vachetta leather. So this is how it actually got. I removed the scratches that was created by the melanin sponge. Yep, so this is a very cheap way of actually refreshing your Louis Vuitton, or in case you are thinking of purchasing a Louis Vuitton that looks quite beaten up, you might want to start with a lower price item and see how it goes before you migrate to a more expensive Louis Vuitton. And then next up is, I have not done the polishing of the metal hardware yet. The next, what I did was I used this antibacterial wet tissue to actually clean the canvas. Just make sure that the wet tissue is alcohol free, free of any other chemicals. Like this one is actually alcohol free, chlorine free. It has organic aloe vera, it's non-toxic, and it's paraben and phenol ethanol free. Okay, so I use this to clean the exterior of basically the exterior of the canvas, because the canvas after 4 years, I believe that is actually quite dirty. Yeah, so this was also 80 cents, so it's about 50 cents USD. And then for the metal hardware, which I'm not going to do it now, you can use a Brussels, and just dab it. It comes in a liquid form like this, if you can see. Okay, and you just dab it on a cloth, and same thing with the Brussels. Just go ahead and polish the metal hardware. Okay, so the other thing that I forgot to mention is I find it interesting that the metal hardware, the gold hardware of the Speedy has all tarnished, including the zip and whatnot, except the what do you call this, the clasps for the what is this, the leather strap. So I don't know, I was hoping that it is gonna be matching, but I guess it just doesn't work that way. Life is always not fair all around, so it's okay. I hope the Brussels will help to polish the metal hardware so that they look more made for each other. Okay, so one way to actually authenticate the bag is, again, you have to read a lot on how to authenticate similar bags. Watch a lot of videos, because you really don't want to be conned, and there are a lot of bad people out there. So just for me, what I did was I actually paid attention to the stitches. I actually counted the number of stitches that are supposed to be on the tab, on the handles, and someone on the internet, or one of the YouTubers actually shared that if it's made in France, especially because it's SP4122 as my date code, it was made in France. So over here, it should have an engraving, an embossing of Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France. And because this is Speedy 30, by the side of the tab, there should be an emboss of the number 30. This shows what is the size of the bag. Okay, so this bag should come with a inner pocket like this, and inside, underneath the pocket, one of the leather tab, which is on the right of the right leather tab, underneath the pocket, should have a date code. Just take note of how the inner canvas should look like. And there is also a hook here, which you can hook your pochette onto this particular catchment, so that your pochette stays in place. I am too cheapskate, so I'm actually using a paper bag and recycle it as a base. I'm very cheapskate per se, because this is something that I can't see, and it doesn't spoil the aesthetics of the bag. So I decided that I'm not going to spend money. I'm not even going to spend 10 USD on this base shaper. I just went to look for my shopping bags and see whichever fit, and I found one. So overall, I am a little disappointed with the bag, but I'm still happy that I have it, because I think everybody should have a Louis Vuitton monogram. And I'm still very happy with my Speedy 30 Damier Ebene, so I am never going to sell that bag, not yet, unless I find a good price Speedy 30 Bandoulier in the Damier Ebene version. Otherwise, I will continue to keep my Damier Ebene Speedy 30. And I'm happy that I finally got this, even though even though it has little things that actually irritates me a little, but overall I'm still happy. Okay, so I hope you find this video useful. If you want to see me with another review of another bag that I have, please let me know. Leave a comment down below, and follow me on Instagram at justsomegirl8899 to see how I style my bags. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.